I'm doing something that I haven't done in quite some time. That is do a live video. Usually, I pre-record my stuff. I've been doing a lot of the short videos, the hot takes, and giving you guys my opinions, my thoughts on things happening in the world of sports, my reactions, and everything like that. But it's good to chat with you guys live. I'm sitting here in our family room watching the Golden State Warriors and the Denver Nuggets, and I'm kind of stuck in one spot right now because our floor is wet after we just mopped the floor. So I'm sitting here surrounded by a floor that is slick, that is wet, and I thought I'd kill some time by just coming on and chatting for a little bit about anything you guys may want to talk about. I mean, I know we just had week 13 in the NFL. We had some good games. The Baltimore Ravens, they lose. Lamar Jackson didn't play well at all. And that's alarming. That's concerning because that is what you typically see from Lamar Jackson in the playoffs, right? He struggles in the playoffs, and you see him make those critical mistakes that a lot of times decide the outcome of the football game. I have a hard time believing in the Baltimore Ravens, just like I have a hard time believing in the Kansas City Chiefs. They're another team. I mean, that's another team to talk about. And when I look at that Kansas City Chiefs team, I see a team that looks very beatable, that's very vulnerable, a team that looks lifeless, particularly on the offensive side of the ball. And you're like, what the hell is going on with the Kansas City Chiefs? You know, pedestrian football from the defending champs. It's looking more and more like each week that the Kansas City Chiefs are a team that can be dethroned. And it's looking like a team that you can't trust, like they're untrustworthy, right? It's really, really concerning. What's up, fellas? What's up, RC Iowa? What's going on, man? Die hard USC fan. What's going on, man? Just living life, doing the usual, just talking sports, man. And I just thought I'd come on tonight and chat with you guys, for a little bit. Yeah, the Ravens got a lot of people worried, right? The Steelers are ahead of them right now, and I think push come to shove, I think the Steelers are the better team right now. I think they're the more complete team right now, particularly if they get their offense rolling a little bit more. We all know what they're capable of doing on the defensive side of the ball. They're good on the defensive side of the ball. You got TJ Watt out there chasing down everybody, But to put things into perspective, the Steelers have looked like the better team. The Steelers have surprised a lot of people, and I talked about them a little bit earlier today. I really like the Steelers. Now, do I think they are good enough to beat a team like the Buffalo Bills? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I don't think anyone is gonna beat the Buffalo Bills because every team that I've mentioned, the Ravens, the Steelers, the Chiefs, they all have to go through the Buffalo Bills. And I mean I just don't see it this year. I know the Buffalo Bills have a history of letting people down in the postseason, but I think this year is a little different. When you're looking at the makeup of that team, when you look at how the roster is structured, when you look at what Josh Allen is doing. I mean, Josh Allen is having a year. Josh Allen is killing it this year. Now, the big question is, can that translate into the playoffs. That remains to be seen because we all know what Josh Allen does, particularly in the playoffs. And that is he tries to play hero ball. He does that too much, and that irks the hell out of me. And it's not even my team, but it irks the hell out of me to see him trying to do everything. And this year, I don't think he has to do everything because he's never really had a solid run game behind him. Now he has a solid ground game behind him because you got James Cook. And man, he's doing his thing. Who do you trust more in the NFC? The Eagles, Lions, or the Vikings? I'm leaning towards the Eagles. I'm with you. I mean, I'm glad you brought that up because I've talked about the Eagles not too long ago. You might have seen some of my content on the Eagles, and I'm basically gonna tell you what I've been saying about the uh, Philadelphia Eagles because I've talked about them. You have to almost play perfect football to beat the Eagles. You can't turn the ball over. You can't make critical mistakes. They will capitalize on your mistakes. You have to pretty much out physical them. And I don't know if there's a team that can really out physical them. Now I know we are in for one hell of a treat when those two teams do meet, the Lions and the Eagles, in the most likely in the NFC Championship game. That's going to be some game. I mean, the Lions are close. Okay, now I'm not disrespecting the Lions. I'm not sleeping on the Lions. I'm not, I'm not ignoring what they have done this season because they are a good team, particularly on the offensive side of the ball. They got a strong run game. They utilize the play action. I like that about them. They run a lot of play action plays. Dan Campbell has done a good job with that team. I think the players there have brought in uh, to that, and they have taken on his personality. But I gotta go with the Eagles here. I mean, Nick Sirianni has them playing good football, and it's crazy because we were so hard on Nick Sirianni. I know I was. I was calling for the man's job. I was saying that he should have been fired after what happened in that Tampa Bay game where he was seen on camera having a shouting match with fans, and to me that there was a fireable offense. I was looking at Nick Sirianni as if he was the problem. But I think this team had to kind of gel together, figure things out, and they've been the best team in football. They've been on an amazing streak. They haven't lost any games, and for the Eagles, what it is too, they got back to doing what they do best, and that is run the football. That is their foundation. Run the football. When you run the football, good things happen. And now you have a guy like Saquon Barkley, and man, I can't say enough about him. What what a year he is having. I mean, you see the guy. I mean, it's just sensational. He can do everything. He could he could run vertical. He could run horizontal. He can leap over people. He can hurdle over people. He has great stamina. He has the speed. He's mentally tough. It's just amazing what this guy is doing. It's ridiculous what he has done. I mean, he's running all over people. He's making things happen. So, to answer your question, RC, I gotta roll with the Eagles. I think they're the best team in the NFC right now. I think the Lions are right there behind them. The Vikings are interesting too, but I think when it comes down to it, it's in the NFC. It is the Lions and the Eagles. Any hope for the Rams? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, they have a pretty favorable schedule. And that is a weak division this year. I didn't think the NFC West would be as weak as it is. Of course, I had the 49ers coming out of that division, winning that division. We all seen um, how things have played out for them. Injuries, Christian McCaffrey getting injured again. Brock Purdy was out with an injury. Brock Purdy hasn't looked good at times. Debo Samuel hasn't looked really good. You lost Brandon Ayuk for the year. Kyle Shanahan. Uh, I feel like his ego gets the best of him at times, and he has come under a lot of criticism for the way he has coached this team and the way that and for the way this team has looked in terms of scheming and play calling and everything else. So, I mean, I don't know. I think the door is still open for the Rams, but the Rams have had a tough year. And to me, a huge part of that is because Sean McVay's offense has looked vanilla. His offense to me is predictable. Suddenly, I mean, it's it's predictable. Um, you almost know what's coming, and defenses know how to scheme for Sean McVay's offense. Sean McVay has to get more creative. He has all the shiny toys, he has all the weapons to his advantage, but he doesn't get as creative as he used to. And part of that is because a lot of the teams have figured him out. It's not anything they haven't seen before. So they almost know what's coming. They know play what play he's gonna run. You know, so that's the thing with the Rams. But I mean, hey, the way it's looking right now, I don't know. It could go either way. It could be. I think the 49ers are done. I mean, I'm just being honest. I think their season's pretty much over. I think Buffalo sucked all the life out of them in that snow game on Sunday. And I just don't see any fight in this Niners team. I just don't see them bouncing back. So, yeah, the Rams may have a shot. The Seahawks have a shot. The Seahawks are an interesting team this year as well, under their first year head coach. So we'll see how that goes. RC says unpopular opinion, maybe, but it might be time for Joe Burrow to ask out. I don't know if Cincy can get him back to the Super Bowl. Yes. I mean, you're just wasting the man's prime. You're wasting his precious years. Same with Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase might want to get out of there too. I mean, you got one of the best quarterback wide receiver combos, but your defense sucks. Your defense sucks. Did you see that game last Sunday? Justin Fields comes in, and everybody knows what Justin Fields is going to do, right? He's going to take off and run with the football. He's going to take off and run with the football, and he picks up a first down. You got everybody on that defense running after him, and they cannot bring him down. I mean, that defense is just atrocious. It's bad. It's bad in Cincy right now. And Joe Burrow is putting up the numbers. Let me tell you. Statistically, he's having a good year, but it all goes unnoticed because of how bad the team is. And that's not all on him. That's on the defense. That's on the defensive play calling. It's really on the defense why this team has sucked as bad as it has sucked. But yes, I'm with you. Joe Burrow might have to ask out if they don't, address their glaring needs, particularly on the defensive side of the ball. RC, man, you hanging in there with me tonight. You said, just don't ask Jalen Hurts to do too much. You got an absolute beast in Saquon, good defense. And yes, and I think with Saquon there, I think his presence is felt, and I think that has taken a lot of pressure off of Jalen Hurts because now you're not asking Jalen Hurts to throw 30 plus or 40 plus times in a football game. I think when he does that, he gets a little careless, he gets a little reckless, he starts making mistakes. Now he's out there running for his life because he doesn't have um, a strong running game behind him. Now there's no excuse, you know. There's no reason for you to try to go out there and be Superman or be this superhuman, you know, because now you have Saquon Barkley, and it's nice to have a strong running game. I think what it is with the running back position, we devalue the running back position so much that we just don't realize, or we're blinded by the fact that the running game is the most vital part of a team's success. You have to have a strong running game because when you have a strong running game, that just opens up your entire offense. Now you're able to run play action plays. You can get more creative. You know, you could stretch the field. You could do so many things with a great running game. And you've seen a lot of these running backs lead teams like Saquon, Joe Mixon. You know, and I know Cincinnati. We go back to the Bengals, right? They're missing Joe Mixon, right? He was a huge part of that offense. That's a huge loss for them, you know. But I feel like these running backs have left their respective teams to sign in free agency with other teams, and they have flourished, you know. And that's because we devalue the running back position so much that they go someplace else and you finally see how valuable they are. You know, and that's where I go back to say the running back position is important. You need a strong running game. You know? What's up, Chris Sims? Hey, what's up, Sports Judge from Cali? I'm a Niners fan. Appreciate your videos. One of my favorite sports content channels. Hey man, hey my man, really appreciate it. I know you're probably feeling like, man, this is a down year for us. You know, that it's been one of those years for the 49ers, and it really has, you know. I don't know. I wanted to ask you this question if you're still here. What are your feelings about the head coach, Shanahan? Because I've said a lot about Shanahan. I went as far to say that he's an overrated head coach. You know, I don't think he's that great of a coach, and all those things. What are your thoughts on that? You know, if you're still here watching this, RC says Eberflus getting fired was a beautiful thing, man. Yeah, you know what? I hate to come off as harsh, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Eberflus was a complete moron. I'm sorry. I don't know how you let the clock expire. I don't know how you let the clock run down to 0-0 and not call a timeout. When you have a timeout in your pocket, you know, you call the timeout. At least that allows your offense to get one more play. They can spike the ball, try to get into field goal range, kick the field goal, tie the game. What's the worst that can happen? You send the damn game into overtime. I don't know. I think something is wrong with that man's brain. I don't think he has functional brain cells. I don't know what he was thinking in his head, but he's not a very intelligent guy to not call a timeout. Now, even a dumb person would know that you need to call a timeout in that situation, and that just tells me everything I needed to know about Eberflus. And I feel like the Bears had no choice but to fire him. I say that because look, if you don't fire that man, you lose the locker room. And I think that Thanksgiving Day game, that embarrassing loss on the road against the Detroit Lions. You had a chance to beat a very good team. It was loud in there. It was electric in that building. You was on the road. And the Bears, man, and you know, Caleb Williams played a pretty okay game. And you had a chance to potentially take that game to overtime and win that game. And once again, you lose the damn game because your head coach doesn't make the right decision late in the game. And that's been the whole thing with the Bears all season, right? That's been the story for the Chicago Bears, right? Is that they lost 4 games this season because of late game decisions, terrible late game decisions, and because of terrible clock management. And I think that was the last straw. You know, the Bears, um, had to let him go after that, and there was no way, there was zero chance that he was lasting another week with the Chicago Bears. That was it for him. But I would like to see how things go now under the interim. Um, the offensive coordinator is taking over the head coaching duties. I would like to see how it goes from here, because sometimes when you get an interim head coach, you know, there's a newfound energy. You start to feel a different type of energy. You know, the players are playing harder. You know, they're playing loose. They're coming together as a team because you went through so much adversity as a team. So now you're coming together as a team. So it'll be interesting to see what this team does now, particularly when you look at all that offensive talent that they have. I mean, this team got a lot of talent. They really do. So I think his firing was obviously a must. It had to happen. And if it didn't happen, it was going to happen at some point. But it's really uncharacteristic. So that tells you how bad it is, because it's uncharacteristic of the Bears organization to fire a head coach in the middle of the season. This is the first time they've ever fired a head coach in the middle of the season, by the way. So that tells you there, that tells you right there how bad it was. It was really, really bad. There is another LA New York final coming Saturday in the MLS Cup. Man, Jared, you're going to have to educate me on that. I'm not really big on soccer. That's one sport that I don't really cover. I know soccer is a global sport. It's one of the most recognizable sports throughout the entire world. And it's the one sport that is played on every continent. It is one sport that is played all over the world. So many people could relate, because it's not only an international game, it's a game that's played here in the United States as well. But I don't understand the intricacies of the game, and I don't pretend to. But that sounds exciting. LA versus New York. I might tune in for that. I'm an LA sports guy. I'm born and raised here. I support all our local teams here in Southern California, so I might be tuned into that. I might check it out a little bit, even though I don't really understand soccer that much and don't get into it like that. Excuse me, guys. Excuse me. Hey, what's up, Ben? Thoughts on the Juan Soto stuff? This is dragging on and on and on. It's a lot of suspense around the Juan Soto free agency. Where will he sign? Where will he end up? I'm hearing Boston. I'm hearing that it could be $600 million, a long-term deal where he's locked up there for a very long time and could possibly finish his career there. I'm hearing the New York Mets, are in on him. The Dodgers, I'll tell you this, because I'm a Dodger fan, we've done enough. Okay, we can't get everybody. I mean, it sounds exciting to have a guy like Juan Soto, but honestly, to be honest with you, he could end up in Boston. But honestly, the Dodgers don't need him. Where are we gonna put him? Mookie Betts is in right. You you got a crowded outfield. Where would you put him? You know, um, your priority needs to be re-signing Teoscar Hernandez. We got Blake Snell. He had his uh, press conference today, by the way. They introduced him. He got his jersey and everything. He spoke to the media earlier today. I saw a little bit of that. But the Dodgers, man, you can't get everybody. And as exciting as it is to build this super team, to build this dynasty, it's nice and all. But no, we don't need Juan Soto. Just keep the guys that you have now. Try to re-sign Teoscar Hernandez and go from there. But it's gonna be interesting to see where he lands. And you know what? We're saying all of this that he could end up with the Red Sox, that he could end up with the Mets. And at the end of the day, in reality, what if he just ends up playing with the Yankees? What if he just re-signs with them? I don't know. The Yankees could afford him. I don't know. The Yankees to me are cheap nowadays. I don't know. It's the Dodgers spending all the money. It used to be the Yankees, but that tells you how times has changed. Jared, if KC are not promising this season, could it be possible if the Chargers or Broncos could catch up and take that division? Yes, I think the Chargers are on their way. I like how Jim Harbaugh has come in and changed the culture. He trusts in his quarterback, Justin Herbert. And Justin Herbert to me, he's really good. It just goes quietly because of the fact that he plays for the Chargers. And I just think that a lot of what he does go unnoticed because of the team he plays for. He plays in a city where they share a stadium with the Rams, and he plays in a city where a lot of people don't show a lot of love to the I was about to say the San Diego Chargers. A lot of people don't show love to the Los Angeles Chargers like they do the Raiders out here, like they do the Rams. So I think that team gets left out a lot, and I think that's why we don't talk about Justin Herbert the way we do. But Justin Herbert is a stud, man. He's a stud, and I mean, you got J.K. Dobbins over there doing this thing. You got players over there. You got young talent. I like what Jesse Minter has done with that defense. You bring him in as the defensive coordinator. He's done a terrific job as well. And yes, I do think the Chargers can catch up to the Chiefs. I think they can make things interesting. I think the Broncos are on their way with Sean Payton. And Sean Payton was a guy that I kind of written off. Like, I was wrong about Sean Payton because, I mean, he's done a remarkable job with this team. It's been a quick turnaround for this team. Look, honestly, uh, when it comes to the Denver Broncos, I really didn't see this coming. Like, I didn't think the Denver, I didn't think the Denver Broncos would be 8-5. Like, if you were to tell me that the Denver Broncos were going to be 8-5 at this point in the season, before the season started, I would have laughed at you. I would have asked you, what the heck are you smoking? But it's been that kind of year for the Denver Broncos. Bo Nix has looked really good. He has solidified his case for Rookie of the Year. I mean, what a year he's having. He just comes on and has and is having a wonderful rookie campaign. The defense has looked good. Now the defense looked terrible on Monday night. The defense, gave up 500 yards, gave up 30 plus points in the game, and that's not something we've really seen from that Denver defense. Now they got a bye week. They go into the bye week with a chance to clean things up. Hopefully they clean things up and they get back to playing the way they were on defense. And if they play the way they have played up until this point, then yes, they can make a strong playoff push, and they can easily be 9-5 coming out of the bye week. So I mean, I did not expect this from the Denver Broncos, and I certainly did not expect this from their defense. I mean, they just surprised a lot of people, and they really surprised me what they've been able to do. So yes, I would say the Chargers and the Broncos are definitely two teams to look out for in the future. But the Chiefs are going to be around no matter what. As long as you have number 15, you're gonna be a very competitive football team. As long as you have Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, a very creative head coach, you're going to be in good shape for a long time. So, yes, the Chiefs are going to be really, really good. RC says, yeah, Joe Mixon was a huge component for them. Absolutely, he was. Chris Sims says, I have mixed emotions. I called him Harbaugh 2.0. He built up a great roster with the GM, but no rings. He needs to try and find a spark or a stud in the draft at tight end or maybe a running back. I mean, you have Christian McCaffrey, but the thing is with him, can he stay healthy? I think that's the big question right there, Tight end, you got George Kittle. I mean, I think it's just been a year for them. It's been rough because everybody's been banged up. I would like to see them at full strength again next season and see how it goes. Now, if they don't play well at full strength, then I think, yeah, you got to break up this roster. You got to make some changes. Obviously, I want to see them at full strength next season. I want to see if they can get back to playing 49ers football. I want to see if Shanahan, gets more creative on the offensive side of the ball, what he does there. And I think you got to get rid of this defensive coordinator. I think Steve Wilks, firing Steve Wilks was a huge mistake. I think Steve Wilks, and I don't want to hear this, that the players didn't get along with him, that they wanted him out. But you know what, damn it, sometimes we're not going to like people. And we have to work things out with people. We have to get along with people and make it work. Because at the end of the day, he was doing something right. Because that defense was playing a lot better, even if the players didn't like them. They were playing a lot better, and sometimes you need that tough love. Sometimes you need someone to get on your ass, and that's what he did. And some of the players, obviously, I guess they didn't like the way he, went about things or his approach or whatever it was. But sometimes you need that tough love. But this guy they got now, they got to kick him to the curb because he's not a very good defensive coordinator. He looks lost. He looks lost and he looks confused. So, I mean, you got to get rid of that guy. RC says, we're your Lakers content this season. You've been quiet on the Lakers and Braun. I haven't had much to say, but I will say it now. This team sucks, okay? Now, I know it's still early in the season, but look, they didn't really make any major changes in the offseason. It's basically the same team you had last season. So how do you expect it to be any different? The only difference is you hired a new head coach. You fired Darvin Ham and you hired J.J. Redick. I mean, that's the only difference. It's still the same roster as last year. You don't have a true big man. You don't have a prolific point guard. You need a true point guard. I've been saying that for years with this Lakers team. LeBron James is slower on defense. He airballed the other night. I mean, it's crazy. Max Christie airballed the other night. Austin Reeves shouldn't even be starting. He should be coming off the bench. I am excited about Dalton Knecht. I think he has a bright future ahead. I think he's going to be an amazing player for the Lakers. That's if they don't do anything stupid and get rid of the guy in the trade. Because the Lakers, sometimes they get rid of their best players. That happens. And then Jared Vanderbilt, I guess he's not coming back until January. Gabe Vincent, he finally dropped 10-plus points the other night. Finally, the first time as a Laker, we got him. He came from Miami. When he was with the Heat, he was putting up a lot of points. He comes over here, he looks like a certified bum. I mean, like, what the hell is going on, So, I mean, the Lakers, man, they got a lot of problems, particularly on the defensive side of the ball. They don't defend very well. They don't defend the three. Everything has to run through AD. I feel like AD has to almost put up 30 points a night for them to have a chance to win the basketball game. And then you got guys that's either a hit or miss. Some nights they want to show up, and then other nights they don't want to show up. And you can't do that. You can't win basketball games because you're playing inconsistent basketball. You just can't do that. You can't expect to win. Austin Reeves not showing up some nights. You got, oh my God, he is just working my last nerve. My goodness. D'Angelo Russell, I'm just tired of him. They should have got rid of him. I'm so done with D'Angelo Russell. Um, I just get so frustrated with him. But that's where I stand with the Los Angeles Lakers right now. I think it's going to be another trying, challenging year for them. I don't see them really turning it around. LeBron is almost 40 years old. I mean, you got to, like how Ben said about the Lakers, you got to get younger. You know, I don't think this team is going to win until LeBron finally says, you know what, I'm hanging it up now. I'm done. I'm going to retire. I'm going to step away from basketball. That's what I think. Chris Sims says they need a Jaden Waddle type speedster, maybe like a Jameson Williams from Detroit. Just a speedster that can really fly. And that's what their offense is predicated on, right? The 49ers speed. They have a lot of speed. And that's the thing we haven't really seen from them this year. We haven't really seen that escapability from their players. We haven't really seen that same type of explosiveness that we usually see from their weapons, right? We haven't seen that from them. So, and I feel like that's what they're best known for is their speed, their explosiveness, the dynamic weapons that they have on that offense, and we just haven't seen that this year from the 49ers. UCLA. Oh, I was reading RC UCLA diehard fan. How can my Cowboys get better? Do they need to fire McCarthy? Go get a running game? Yes, they definitely need a running game. They definitely need a running game. The Cowboys can't run. They can't stop the run. They suck against the run. Their quarterback is injured. Dak Prescott. I mean, it's just a lot going on with the Dallas Cowboys. And, I point the finger at Jerry Jones because I think Jerry Jones needs to get out of his way. He is one of those guys that just can't put his ego aside and say, you know what? I'm gonna hire a general manager. I'm gonna trust this guy that he knows what he's doing, that he can build this team, put it together, give me a winning roster, put a winning product on the field. Jerry Jones doesn't know how to step aside. Jerry Jones doesn't know how to sit back and say, you know what, I'm doing too much. I need to sit back and let the coach do his thing. Let the general manager do his thing. He wants to be the coach, the general manager, the owner. He wants so much control and power, and that's the thing that's holding that Cowboys team back. But I do think they have to let go Mike McCarthy. Look, Mike McCarthy is like the Doc Rivers of the NFL. He's living off that one championship that he won with Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay and hasn't won anything since. That's the same thing with Doc Rivers. He hasn't won anything since he won that championship with Boston when he was coaching Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce and those guys in Boston. He hasn't won anything since. Well, that's the same thing with Mike McCarthy. And I think Mike McCarthy is a yes man. If you was to hire somebody like Bill Belichick is gonna get in Jerry Jones' face and tell him straight up, hey, look, this is how it works, okay? Look, you let me coach this team the way I'm gonna coach this team. You don't tell me how to coach this football team. Bill Belichick would tell him that. Like, You brought me here. You hired me as the head coach. Don't micromanage me. Let me do my damn job. Let me do what I know I can do, and you just sit back and watch what happens. But that's the thing. Do you trade or release Dak Prescott? Who's going to want to pick up that contract? I mean, that's the question that I have for that. Do you blow it all up? Maybe you do. You know, I think you. I don't think Dak is the problem. I think it's the run game, the inability to run the football, the defense not being able to stop the run, the secondary looking as bad as it's looked. Um, it's just the way the roster is structured and the way it's put together. I think, and coaching. It's one of the most undisciplined teams in football. They're sloppy. So that's what I think when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys. You know, Jerry, what's up? NFC North Division has been a pretty competitive division this whole season. Yes, it has. The Bears, the Vikings. The Vikings got off to a fast start. Green Bay has looked really good at times when they want to. Yes, it is a very competitive division this year. It is a very, very competitive division this year. But hey, guys, it's been 40 minutes. It's a little past 40 minutes. It's been fun chatting with you guys. We're going to do this more often. I'm going to come on live. I promise you. And the next time I come on live, I'm going to have something more prepared. I just did this on the fly. I just came on. I didn't really have stats in front of me. I didn't really have notes in front of me. I didn't really have, like, a list of things that I usually have in front of me when I'm talking to you guys. But next time I come on here better prepared for sure, and we'll have a longer conversation about anything you guys want to talk about. Give me some topic ideas. Let me know what you guys want to talk about, and we can definitely have a discussion. It'll be a lot of fun. Jared, man, good night, man. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks to everybody who tuned in. Thanks, RC. Thanks, Chris. Appreciate you guys for the love and support. Ben for tuning in. Hey, you know what? Without you guys, Jake from State Farm, without you guys, none of this is possible. You guys make this happen. So I really thank you guys for taking the time out of your night, because remember, you guys don't have to do this. I mean, you guys don't have to take the time out of your day to listen to what I'm talking about, or what my thoughts or reactions are about this or that. But I really appreciate you guys so much for that. And stay in touch. Keep tuning in. I'm gonna have more videos for you guys soon. I got more videos actually coming up on my YouTube channel. If you guys stay tuned, I got some more stuff to upload for you. Some good content. What I said about Lamar Jackson, that'll be uploaded soon. And more stuff to come. But you guys take care. You guys have a good night. Peace out, Chris. Peace out, bro. Take care. Good chatting with you guys again. We'll talk again very soon. You guys take care. Thanks for watching. How did I get out of here? Where did I go to stop the live? Did I go to the top? Wait a minute. Oh, I see.